What's up? This is Megs from DTC. I'm going to be doing my lasagna for you today. So firstly, I start off with some sunflower oil. Just use about 2 tablespoons worth. So you're going to want to make sure that the oil is quite hot so it cooks the mince nicely. I just had some frozen mince, which I defrosted for this. And then you want to go in with 1 shake of Worcester spice and then 2 shakes of steakhouse seasoning from Woolworths. And then you just break it up with a fork as best as you can so it cooks evenly. So at this point, I'm happy. I've stirred multiple times and I'm putting in some Monte Verde Bolognese Sauce, which you can get from Checkers. So I want to make sure everything is in there. And then I like to add, after this, a stock cube. So I normally go with the beef stock cube from Norix. Yeah, it just adds a little bit of a beefy flavor to the tomato. So I normally just break off 1/4 and chuck it in there and let it cook. Bit just to make sure that the flavors are all incorporated nicely, and yeah, you also want to make sure that the stock cube has completely dissolved. It for the basic mince sauce. Now we're moving on to the béchamel sauce. So whatever you want to call it, white sauce with cheese in it.
Cheese sauce.
Just go in with as much butter necessary to basically coat the flour so that it doesn't get sticky. You'll see in this video I sort of messed it up there, but I added some milk, tried to rectify that.
And it turned out okay.
Yeah, so you just gotta get the butter nice and hot, and then add some flour after it's done. Oh, so the flour, you can just put in about 3 tablespoons worth. I normally go, if you're doing 30 grams of butter, you want to try and do the right amount of cake flour in comparison.
So yeah, I added a little bit too much cake flour, but it's like train smash.
Yeah, so you want it a bit thinner than that, honestly. When it goes on, you want to actually cook it for a little bit, but yeah. Now I'm going to be adding 1/4 of a chicken stock cube. This again just brings out the flavor in the sauce. You don't want it to be bland.
Yeah, this is the point where I'm saving it.
We're trying to anyway. So you can use any milk that you want. So I have a bit of lactose intolerance, so you'll see all of my ingredients. Normally the cheese is lactose free, the milk is lactose free. It's just how I've sort of adjusted my lifestyle, if that makes sense. And then you want to add some cream, so just make sure you're not adding more than you need to.
This is not the healthiest, to be honest.
Try and add more milk than cream. At this point you want to make sure that there's no lumps in your sauce, so that's why you'll see me stirring.
Aggressively.
You can start spicing your sauce. I normally just use a few herbs and garlic and onion I really like to use as well. Yeah, just your general spices.
Again, with the stirring.
I was just sort of feeling how much to put in, but you can do about 10 shakes for a nice flavoring. And then some onion powder. I just got these 3 ingredients from Woolworths, and some garlic flakes for garlic flavor. Then you're just going with your normal like salt and pepper to taste. And then for a little bit of
South African spiciness.
we go with aromat because it's used on everything. And then you're just gonna blend all of those ingredients into the béchamel sauce. At this point, I sort of just let it cook until it's done, and I have the required thickness, like not too thin because then the lasagna is watery, but not too thick because you're going to struggle to pour it on. Because this is going to get thickened as you add the cheese, so you want it to not be...
Yeah, like I said, just too thick.
Cool, so this is pretty much looking done. You take it off the heat because you don't want the cheese to burn. Although I've never really experienced that before, I must say. And now you just chuck in some cheese. You can use as much as you want, to be honest, but I just like to sort of stick with 1.5 handfuls.
Also, this cheese gets expensive.
Left over there, so that you can put it onto the lasagna the way that you need. Alright, so now everything is basically done. It's all being laid out. Now it's just a matter of making the lasagna. Yeah, so you want to start off with like a cheese sauce foundation, and then I normally work my way out from there. I suppose you don't really need to, you want to make sure that they're not touching each other because they won't cook nicely.
Like the last thing you want to end up with is sides of the lasagna that haven't cooked and they end up being all crispy.
And then you're going to put some of your basic mint sauce on top of that. So I feel like the flavor in this Monte Verde sauce is one of the best that I've come across, to be honest, because it's very authentic Italian. And it started off being super affordable as well, so I like to use it and incorporate it because it saves a lot of time. Like if you were to make a basic mint sauce from scratch, a lasagna would end up taking you like 3 hours. So I've tried to reduce the cooking time of this meal to like 1.5 hours. So it's a nice time saving thing to have when you want lasagna. Even the pasta sheets, I mean, you can use any sheet that you would like to use, even if you want to make fresh, that would be cool as well. And with regards to laying out your pasta, yeah, honestly, the order could be many things, but from what I've learned, it would be cheese sauce. You're going with your sheets, mince sheet, mince cheese sauce, and then continue as many times as required. I generally just stick to about 8 sheets.
Because if you're cooking for 2 people, it makes sense, because otherwise there's just massive amounts of leftovers.
Yeah, and then this is just
finishing it off with
cheese sauce, and then the cheese is gonna sort of go on top of that. Yeah, are covered by the cheese sauce, just to make sure that everything cooks through evenly. Again, with the cheese, any cheese you can use. I love cheese. It's a problem.
That doesn't help so much for cholesterol, so yeah.
Just going with as much cheese as you would like to use, especially if you're looking for that crispy topping when it's baked in the oven. Right, so it's ready, it's going to the oven, and yeah, that's it, coming out after 40 minutes roundabout. You want to put it in for another 5 minutes on the grill if you're looking for that crispy cheesy top. Yeah, so I just stuck it in there for another 5 minutes. Otherwise you could have it just like this, doesn't really matter. Yeah, so this is the final product. This is the lasagna.
Cutting this thing as hard as it looks.
And if you're looking for specifically creamy pasta, I think this is the best bet because Honestly, there's nothing better than cream.
It's such a problem, guys, like the fats and oils. They are good.
And there you have it, your slice of lasagna. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoy.